Hi guys, welcome. My name's Tylin.
And I'm Kyle.
We bought a house! So today we'll be doing a video, a house Q&A actually, answering questions about what we're looking forward to and our experience as buyers in the market.
Let's get started.
So the first reason we decided to buy a house was because we wanted to get something we could start to put some equity into. We were tired of paying rent to our landlords.
Well, and we realized that once we compare our rent price with our potential mortgage price, we realized that it's in our budget and we just thought it was the right time to get started. So we started looking at homes in the market last year, maybe February 2020. We kind of went on showings just to get an idea of, like to set our expectations and see what's out there. And then near the end of last year, we actually reached out to a realtor, Josh Rees. We found him on social media and we kind of connected and started from there. And then the beginning of January, we got a pre-approval. And once we had a pre-approval, that was like our ticket to start going to showings. So that's kind of when our process started, was January.
So we chose to go with the mortgage broker over just going to a bank for a couple different reasons. First, our realtor had a really recommended mortgage broker for us to go and have a chat with. And after we talked to him, he really explained very well how the mortgage brokers are able to find us the best rate by comparing every single lender and bank all at the same time. Whereas if we went to look on our own, we probably wouldn't have ended up with the best rate, which we did end up getting.
So in the market we're in today, it's really hard putting in offers because I know for us, we didn't expect to win our first offer. In fact, we didn't expect to win our second offer, and that's just how it is. So losing offers was really hard actually, because you really invest so much of you into picturing your life in that home and just like envisioning just like us just growing like our relationship and us in that home. And you kind of feel defeat, almost like something's being taken away from you when you lose that offer. But I guess, what's it like putting in an offer? So for the house that we won, we actually saw the house and put in an offer all within a couple hours. It was very fast. We did a bully offer. We went into what's it called, a bidding war, and we won the home. And putting in the offer itself is very overwhelming because it's almost like a commitment and it's just a huge decision you're making. And then I think the feeling of when you get that offer accepted, it's like no other. Like, I think when our realtor called us to tell us that we had won the home, like he was pretty much like very short with us. He said we won. He's like, okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow, just because he knew we were so overwhelmed and just we were speechless. But that was kind of the gist of us putting in our offer.
The offer itself too, we weren't able to put any conditions on it just because of how fast-paced the market is right now. Any offer that had no conditions would always be picked over one with it. So that's why we did end up choosing to bid on houses that were a little bit newer, like less than 5 years old, because we knew we didn't have that safety of the home inspection in our offer anymore.
What kind of condition do you wish we could have put on our offer, like if we were in the right market where we could have put a condition on?
Definitely would have been the home inspection, because it just protects you from so much when you are able to have that in. If there's any issues, you can sometimes get the price lowered a little bit to fix problems, or just back out of the deal entirely.
Well, and the house that we're purchasing, once we move in, we'll get an inspection just to know the overall health profile and structural being of our house. And honestly, I think you learn so much when you walk through the house with an inspector. They know things that you're not going to learn from Google, or you're not going to learn just from, maybe family. Like, you're really learning and walking through the home with your inspector. So I'm excited to, learn more about the home and have a better understanding of what we might need to do for maintenance or keep up with.
The main thing for me was all the waiting that we had to do.
A lot of waiting. So I think there's two other things. I think the first one was comparing ourselves to others. It was really hard seeing our friends who we were supporting and encouraging and hoping that they would find the perfect home for them win homes in a different city. I find that really, we struggled with comparing because we were getting defeated. We were losing offers on homes that we were very competitive with. And, it was really hard to, we just wanted to give up and not look for a home, but we knew we just had to keep hanging on, and our realtor was there alongside us and really supported us during this process. And we had to remember too that we can't compare to others in a different city because Ottawa is a very different market than another city elsewhere in Ontario. So, we really learned from that. And I think the second thing as well is it was really hard losing offers just in general. You put so much effort walking through the home and really envisioning your future in that home and really picturing our lives in that home. And then to lose that offer, it just feels like something's being taken away from you. And that feeling of, losing that home, you kind of just doubt your abilities and wonder like, why didn't we win? Especially when you're competitive, but you have to remember that it's the market we're in, it's not us. Honestly, I think it comes down to being able to set expectations and know what they are. I think, yeah.
And we also had each other throughout the entire process. We were able to support each other really well whenever somebody was a little more upset or a little more down because of the process. I'd say overall the whole buying process was tough, but rewarding.
It was emotionally exhausting, but good. It's worth it.
We're starting with hiring a painter in order to get the whole house painted before we move in. Gonna start the place with a fresh coat of paint and a brand new look for us.
It'll look so good. We also will be finishing the basement sometime in the next year. Originally when we started looking for houses, we wanted a finished basement. We just wanted the whole house move-in ready. But now we've come to terms that the unfinished basement kind of allows us to, one, add an office, so it kind of lets us pick the layout with the designers and also like pick the finishes, so we're excited about that. So we won an offer on February 22nd and the move-in date was set for June 16th. The sellers contacted us last month and asked us if we would like to move in early, and of course we said yes, so we're moving into our first home this month.
I didn't really want to have to wait all the way till June. Happy we're getting it in May.
That's true.
So to begin our budgeting for a home, the first thing that we had to do was find out what all the upfront costs are going to be, because as new homeowners, we haven't been through this experience before to know what all these fees are. So that entailed a lot of Googling, asking our realtor, that sort of discussion. Once I knew what all these fees were, I assembled a nice Excel spreadsheet that had our whole finances on it, and it was a calculator, so I was able to continuously update it anytime we thought of a new expense, or every house that we looked at, I made a different spreadsheet for the work we would have to put into that house, and that gave us a really good idea of how well we could afford to offer on a particular home.
And I think that gave us a really good, bigger picture of our finances so that we can budget for those upfront costs on move-in day or with closing costs. And from there, now that we know our budget, we really take the time to write a list. So we have a list of like the upfront costs, and we also have a list of all the renos we want to do. There's not many renos though, but the upgrades we want to do, because that way we can prioritize this list. And I find when we look at our budget, the best thing to do is categorize them into wants versus needs. And I think our advice to others is really budget, especially when you're doing a huge purchase like this. Know your wants, know your needs, but also know your finances.
So in the new home, the two things that I'm most excited for are firstly our new kitchen, which is just absolutely massive and
so nice.
fantastic. But also another thing I'm really excited for is having our own laundry machines. In an apartment building, sharing communal machines is not the most pleasant thing, and we're just really excited to have our own now.
No idea how excited I am for our own laundry room. I also love doing laundry. The two things I'm most excited for would be the space, but also decorating. I'm so excited to have more rooms, but also like to make the space our own and just decorate it the way we want, because like we can decorate in our apartment, but it's not the same. We're so excited to be homeowners this month. I think something that's bittersweet is packing up our apartment and, just this is where we started in Ottawa. This is, we moved from Kingston 2 years ago and we moved into this apartment, and so this place is kind of special. But, we're moving on to bigger and better things, and we're excited for what's ahead.
I'm just really proud and glad that we've reached this new milestone in our relationship together.
Wow.